Namaste viewers, welcome to Jnana Degula channel. Today we will try to understand the meaning of Dṛṣṭāntaḥ. Let's go a little deeper into the meaning of this Dṛṣṭāntaḥ. The term Dṛṣṭāntaḥ in Sanskrit holds the meaning of an example or illustration, typically used to clarify or substantiate a proposition, that is called pratijñā. It's a common term in the context of logic, philosophy and debates in ancient Indian texts, especially in the Nyaya and Vedantic systems. To understand Dṛṣṭāntaḥ thoroughly, we need to examine its role, purpose and how it relates to other logical elements like pratijñā, hetuḥ and nigamana. So now, let's go to the meaning and role of Dṛṣṭāntaḥ. Dṛṣṭāntaḥ is not an exact replica of the proposition, that is pratijñā. It aims to explain. Rather, it serves as an analogy or an example that can illustrate the truth or validity of the proposition. The essence of example is to provide a clear illustration that makes the abstract idea or argument more accessible and understandable. An example is meant to show the nature of something indirectly, thereby guiding the listener or reader to the desired conclusion without explicitly proving the point. Now the second aspect, the relationship with pratijñā, the proposition. Pratijñā refers to the assertion or claim being made, something that needs to be proven or established. Dṛṣṭāntaḥ is employed as a means of supporting or validating this claim. The example, while not identical to the proposition, demonstrates the truth of the proposition in a way that the listener or the reader can easily grasp. For example, in classical logic, a proposition might be all humans are mortals. To support this pratijñā, a Dṛṣṭāntaḥ could be Socrates is a human and Socrates is mortal. This illustration doesn't claim that Socrates mortally proves the mortality of all humans directly, but shows a relatable instance of the proposition. Connection to hetuḥ, reason. Hetuḥ refers to the reason or the cause. It justifies the proposition. It is the logical ground that validates the pratijñā. A Dṛṣṭāntaḥ serves to reinforce the hetuḥ by providing a concrete, often tangible example that supports the abstract reasoning. While the hetuḥ provides the logical foundation, the Dṛṣṭāntaḥ makes the reasoning easier to comprehend by grounding it in reality or everyday experience. You have this another term called as nigamana, conclusion. Nigamana refers to the conclusion drawn from the reasoning. The Dṛṣṭāntaḥ aids in leading to the nigamana by helping the audience understand how the reasoning based on hetuḥ directly leads to the conclusion of the argument. The example acts as a bridge between the premises and the conclusion. Let us try to clarify through some quotes. The Nyaya Sutra, an example, is the illustration of a case that is similar but not identical to the original assertion. This defines the use of Dṛṣṭāntaḥ as an illustrative tool that helps to explain a broader or abstract principle by using something familiar or concrete. In the Mīmāmsa Sutra also, just as a fire can be seen in a spark, so the assertion can be seen as an example. This is another way of saying that the example reveals the truth of the claim, just as a small spark reveals the existence of fire. The Dṛṣṭāntaḥ here functions to make as invisible or abstract reality evident to the mind. Consider a proposition like the sun always rises in the east. The Dṛṣṭāntaḥ to prove this might be every day the sun rises in the east as seen in the daily sunrise on the horizon. This example doesn't prove the proposition in the strictest sense but illustrates it with an everyday occurrence. The sun rising in the east is not a new concept or a direct proof, but it acts as an illustration that proves the general truth of the claim. Now, ambiguities and limits. A Dṛṣṭāntaḥ can never be completely identical to the pratijñā because it is only a comparison or analogy. If the example were identical to the proposition, it would no longer be an example but the same thing, thereby nullifying its function as an explanation or illustration. The difference between a Dṛṣṭāntaḥ and a pratijñā is subtle but important. The example simplifies or brings clarity but is never a strict direct equivalence to the proposition being discussed. The importance of logic and debates. In Indian classical logic and debates, in the Nyaya Shastra, the Dṛṣṭāntaḥ plays a crucial role in convincing the interlocutor of the soundness of the claim. A debater uses examples to create common ground, showing the applicability of a principle or concept in real life scenarios. It can also be used to test the validity of an argument. If the example does not work, it suggests that the proposition might need to be revisited or reconsidered. So to sum it up, Dṛṣṭāntaḥ is a vital tool in illustrating and validating logical claims or propositions. By representing examples that are analogous but not identical to the proposition, it helps make abstract concepts clearer and more comprehensible. The effective use of Dṛṣṭāntaḥ requires careful selection of examples that reinforce rather than complicate the argument being presented. Viewers, with this we conclude this episode. Please like, share and then subscribe to our channel. Thank you for your valuable time in listening to this. Thank you.